In this short video, we're going to take a look at template literals and compare that to standard string concatenation. Now, concatenate is a big long polysyllabic word that we use to mean put things together. We're linking things together. Now, ES6 introduced being able to use template strings or template literals, and they have a few key distinctions that separate them from a standard string concatenation. Now, they use backticks instead of quotes. So that's not a single quote, it is the backtick. So if we look at a standard keyboard, the backtick character is in the top left corner of the keyboard, usually right underneath an escape key, if that is present, and usually above the tab key. So it slants and is not vertical like the apostrophe or single quote. So when we use a backtick, it is not a single quote. They're not interchangeable. So we can see that here. That is the backtick. As we look at it, if we zoom way in, we can see the backtick is angled. It is not vertical. Now we can put variables inside by using a $sign and curly braces. Now this is not a jQuery $sign. This is simply a $sign with the curly braces that works for it. So I'll be putting the links here for these tabs in the comments on the video so you can go and look at those and see more about them. But template literals or template strings came out with ES6, so we can really start doing some fun things with them because they do simplify writing strings. Now, CSS Tricks has some good information, which it is JavaScript, but they do include quite a bit of that on their site, and we can get some more ideas of how we might go about using it. So right now, I'm going to go into my document here and start comparing the difference. So in my document, I'm going to populate these two paragraphs. One is string concatenation, SC. One is TL, template literal. So with those, we are going to fill that out. So first I'll demonstrate how I could traditionally do this using string concatenation. So sc.textContent, we'll set that equal to, and now I'll use a single quote. That is different. Now, if I hit the backtick, you'll see how it is angled. So it is indeed a different character. And when I hit the backtick, it doesn't give me a pair like when I do single or double quotes. So now, if I'm using string concatenation, now to put a variable into this, I use a plus, and now I put my variable. Do first name, and then I have to do another plus, and now I want to put a space between first and last name, so now I need to add in more quotes, put a space in there, another plus, now last name plus, and now another quote, comma. And part of the difficulty when we're doing string concatenation is making sure we're balancing our quotes and all of our pluses so that we keep everything squared away. It's very common to not have everything balanced correctly and then you get errors because it is not a valid statement. All right, let's just do one thing here. We'll just toggle word wrap so it fits on the screen. So another plus, and we have to remember the spaces before and after different things. So we put it in plus, and then another plus, as I almost forgot it there. And space, end out my quote, plus, city plus quote, comma, space, and quote, plus state plus, yeah, and as we can see, this is a very tedious way of doing it. Now I can save my document, and let's see, and it now puts the text here. I'd like to introduce you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's correct. Now let's compare how I would do that as a template literal. So tl.text content, we'll set that equal to. Now I use a backtick. And now with my backtick, I can just say I would like to introduce. Oh, I forgot the word you. You to first name, last name, who. Now you'll notice I'm not putting my curly braces or anything because it's much easier just to type it, then go back and add that in. Who has been an OCC occupation for over duration years, comma, working in city, comma, state, period, and closing backtick. Now, if I grab state, I can put my curly braces around it, grab city, curly braces. Now go to duration. Whoop, I hit the return key because it's right by it. Occupation. And first name and last name. Now I'm just going to go through and just add in my $sign. Now I could be really slick and just alt-click, 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 add in that $sign. Whoop, wrong key, missed by 1. And we'll see now the color coding, it's telling me that it turned red, my variables all turned white. One, that's way easier to read because I don't have all these pluses. I'm not worried about getting spaces before and after the open or close of quotes. I just type it in. Now let's save this and see. And they look identical in our rendered page. But it's a much easier way of doing concatenation of a string and including variables in it while we are working with it. So I would encourage you to think about using template literals instead of string concatenation, which is what we started with, because it is a better and more efficient way of working. Key points to remember. The backtick is not a single quote or apostrophe. We surround the variable name in curly braces and we put the $sign in front of the curly braces that are around the variable name. If you remember those 3 things, you will be in good shape working with template literals.